Ciao, my name is Alessandro and today we're gonna be playing Cascadia. If you don't know how to play this game, don't worry, we're gonna have a little how to play at the beginning of the game, but if you really know how to play the game and you just wanna see the solo playthrough of this game, you can skip ahead at the relevant chapter of the video and you're gonna be able to just enjoy the playthrough. Cascadia is a relaxing game all about nature, wildlife and tile placing in different terrains. And we're gonna see how to interact this wildlife amongst each other so that we can maximize the amount of points that we collect in this lovely game. Before we start, I want to remind you that if I make any mistakes, they will be corrected in the subtitles channel at the Klingon language, so feel free to turn that on. And also, if you like this kind of content, feel free to leave a like, subscribe to my channel, activate notification for when I post more videos, and so on. I'd immensely appreciate that. It's gonna keep me motivated, so thank you. So as you can see, I already generated the setup for a Cascadia game. Before talking how to do the setup, which is pretty straightforward, I want to talk to you about how I chose these 5 cards. To explain that, I brought up the Cascadia rulebook here, and as you can see, the Cascadia game comes in the rulebook with some sort of achievements that you can do, like playing multiple games, and sometimes you focus on one achievement, sometimes on another achievement, and these achievements can be specific scenarios, they can be like specific restrictions in the game, and so on. So for example, as I said, some of these achievements are called scenarios, which is specific like scenarios that you have to beat. So for example, if you look at one, it has a requirement of 80 victory points, and you will play with all the A scoring cards, which are these cards that I was showing you on the right hand side of the board, which are like the scoring criteria for each wildlife, okay? And sometimes you can have like some other restrictions, so for example, you need to have at least 5 nature tokens at the end of the game, or score at least 20 points with a hawk, and so on. So there are like restrictions in the game that you have to fulfill in order to beat that scenario. You also can have achievements of this kind, so score at least 110 points, or have no hawks, or have no foxes, or play with a display of only 3 pairs of tiles tokens, and so on, instead of 4. As you can see, we have 4. So these are different type of achievements that you can unlock and play with them. And for today, I decided to play with one of the first 7 scenarios, since there are 15 and I plan on making a couple of videos. I wanted to like split it in 2, and I decided to choose randomly one among the first 7, and it came up to be the scenario number 4. So we need to get at least 85 points with all D cards, so D scoring criteria. And that is what we have here. All these cards are marked with a D on the bottom corner, and this means that this is all the D scoring cards, and we're gonna go through what this means later in the video. Now the setup is very easy. You take 1 scoring card for each of the animals. In this case, it was selected by the scenario. You take a random starting tile. There are like 5 of these because you can play up to 5 players, and then you basically create a display of like 4 tiles and 4 tokens available to be grabbed. So how do you actually play this game is very simple. So you choose a combination of these tile token that are available in display among these 4 basically. You are forced to choose the same combination of tile token. You cannot take a tile and another token on a different row. And basically you place it in your playing area so that at least one side is touching the side of your starting tile of all your play area that you created. So in this case, it could be good to play something like this because I'm matching like the same type of terrain, which is gonna help me score points. We're gonna see how later, or something like this, for example, and this is also gonna help me score points. And then I take the token, and I can only place the token where it is possible for me to place the token. So this is a bare token, and the only bare spot I have on my board is this one, so I will have to place it here. If I don't have an available place to place my wildlife token, I have to basically simply discard it. Now in the multiplayer game, you just reveal this that is missing, and then you go to the next basically turn. In the solo game, you're basically simulating a two-players game, but you know that the second player, the AI, is always gonna take like the bottommost tiles. Theoretically, in the rulebook, there is written to place them left to right, but we're gonna do top to bottom and basically always discard the bottommost combination and just get rid of it. So in this case, I would take these, get rid of those, and then slide these at the bottom and take a new combination of 2 tiles and 2 tokens from the supply. The number of available tiles to be taken in the whole game is dependent on the amount of players. So in a 2-players game, which is what we're simulating now, it is 43 tiles. So that at the end of the game, each player has a tableau of like 20 tiles. There are some special tiles which are called keystones, like these. They look like only one type of territory and they have this little symbol under the symbol of the animal, and basically when you get and place that wildlife token on that area, you get a nature token, which is this type of token. I moved around the board to show you a little bit what these nature tokens can do. The first thing they can do is giving you a victory point at the end of the game if you don't spend them. But if you want to spend them, you can basically decide a tile wildlife token combination that is not in the same row. So if I want this tile but I want this token here, I can just simply like spend a nature token, and what is going to happen is that I can place this here and then I can maybe place this here, and then everything is just simply gonna slide down and we refill this in this way. And in a solo game, basically this would go out of the game. Now let's place it back to show you the second application of the nature tokens. You can spend a nature token to simply wipe out all of these tokens and simply draw 4 different ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're basically refilled the tableau, the possible choices. And you've basically refilled all your possible choices. Now another rule to wipe out these tokens, and it simply happened, I didn't even plan for it, but great example, is that if there are like ever 3 wildlife tokens of the same type, the active player can just simply decide to wipe them out and replace them with like 3 new tokens from the bag. And if there ever are 4 tokens of the same type in the possible options, then all of them are automatically wiped and replaced with new tokens. And this is basically the game. You go on until all the tiles are over, or basically you cannot refill tiles anymore in this display, and it will basically be when every player has a play area of like 20 tiles. And after that you basically score your victory points. And how you score your victory points is pretty simple, and you have a score sheet. So you basically, depending on all the wildlife card criteria, you score points depending on those criteria. Then for each of the different type of terrains that you can see here, you basically count the biggest area, so the biggest cluster for each type of terrain, and you count how many tiles there are, and that is gonna score you 1 victory point for each tile. So in this case, this would be 2 points, this would be 2 points, this would be 2 points for forest, and 1 point for mountain, and 1 point for the sea. In a solo game, if you reach an area of a cluster of at least 7, you also get 2 extra victory points for that type of terrain. In a multiplayer mode, it depends if you're like the player with the biggest area, the second biggest, you get bonus points depending on the number of players. And the last thing is that you score 1 victory point for each nature token that you still have left over. And that's basically how you count your points. Now I'm going to talk about these scoring cards criteria at the beginning of the playthrough. So I think we can start with the playthrough. Enough with the how to play. I think I've said basically everything. And yeah, join me for the playthrough. I'm just gonna reset the board and see you soon. And here we are set up for a playthrough of Cascadia, solo, just with me and you. And let's look at all the scoring criteria. So let's start with the bear. The bear says scores per group of bears with no other bears next to it. So if you have a cluster of 2 bears, it's gonna score you 5 points. If you have a cluster of 3 bears, it's gonna score you 8 points. If you have a cluster of 4 bears, it's gonna score you 13 points. But you cannot have a cluster of 5 bears, otherwise you're gonna score 0 points, or 1 bear is gonna score you 0 points. And for each of these clusters on your board, you're gonna score the according amount of points. Here's the fox, and it says scores for each fox pair, number of unique adjacent animal pairs. Foxes do not count. So as you can see, these two foxes have around them a pair of salmons, a pair of bears, a pair of elks, but also a pair of hawks, because the pairs do not need to be adjacent to each other, they just need to be around the foxes. So in this case, you would score 11 points for this pair of foxes, because there's 4 pairs around it. Then we have the hawk scoring, and basically this says scores for each pair of hawks, number of unique animal types between them, each hawk only counts as once. So for example, you basically need to draw a line between each pair of hawks, and on each hawk can only score once, so you need to kind of manipulate the pairs so that it's more advantageous to you. And then in this case, these 2 pair of hawks, since there is like an elk and a salmon, will score you 7 points. These 2 pair, since there's only elks, will score you 4 points because it's unique type of animals. And this duo of hawks will score you 9 points because there are 3 animals in between. The salmon, in this case, scores per salmon and per animal adjacent to run of at least 3. Runs may not be adjacent. So you need to have at least a run of 3 salmons, and then you score per each adjacent animal. They don't need to be different, so in this case you would score 1, 2, 3 per the salmons, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the all unique animals. Here you can see a cross because these other 2 are salmons, so the run of salmons need to be like a straight line that doesn't ever like split at some point, right? If it's splitting, you only can choose like one line of salmons, so I could choose this line of salmons or this line of salmons, for example. It's kind of like each salmon can only have like a side in common with another salmon, but not more than that. And then we have the elk. The elk work in rings in this case. Score per group of elk in circular formation. Each elk may only score for a single group. So you basically want to create a circular kind of structure around a single tile of elks. If you're making one elk, it scores 2 points, 2 elks 5, 3 8, 4 12, 5 16, and 6 21. That's basically all the scoring criteria. This is our display. We are ready to begin. So I think the first tile I'm going to take will be this one, and I'm going to place it in this way so that it's gonna match up the forest and the desert both. And I'm going to take this elk, and this elk will go, I guess, can go here. We are going to lose this salmon and this tile. We're gonna slide down this, and we're gonna refill. Now this one I did it to explain you, but the others are gonna be sped up, so you don't need to wait for me to refill these things. Now I really don't like the foxes in this scenario. I like the elk and I like the bear, but I think that I'm going to grab this tile, and the reason why is that I wanna place it here so that I can start working on my elks, and I ideally want a hawk in the middle there. And then I'm going to take this fox and place it here so I can get a nature token for the future that is gonna help me like choose a little bit better. Unfortunately, I'm going to lose this combination and refill. I think this is a pretty good tile for me to place here, I suppose. And then I'm going to take the bear and place it here. This is gonna go out. Maybe we start working on the salmon? Maybe we do. Maybe we place this here and we start placing the salmon here and see how that goes. This goes out. Don't like these foxes. Leave me alone with these foxes. I think we're gonna take this one, and the hawk is going here. Let's see how that goes. This goes out. Well, let's just say that my whole strategy was trying to work around the elks, and that's not really working, but not a problem, not a problem. We are going to take this, place it here, and then place this here. I think I'm going to spend a nature token, because I really like this style to place here. That seems like a good idea, right? But I like the bear to place here. I didn't like the hawk because I could only place it here, and I don't like with that power, so unfortunately we're gonna lose this salmon, which I was eyeing, but sorry about that, and we're gonna slide. Now I really wanna take the elk, and I think this works, right? So I'm just gonna place this here, the elk here, and let's see how that goes. This goes away. Well, that's great. I really like this one that I'm going to place here for my fourth bear, and I'm going to place this elk here. This goes away. I think I'm going to take this one, place it like this, and place a salmon maybe here, I guess. Maybe here. It doesn't matter too much, but yeah, maybe there. That's fine. These are all pretty good. Pretty good. I think what I'm going to do is to take this salmon here, and then maybe place this here and get a nature token for that. Well, we're not doing amazing with these elks, are we? I think I'm going to take this one and then place it maybe like this or like so. Maybe like so. Yeah, there's a lot of forest, but not... Oh no, but this doesn't match the mountain, does it? So it would be better for me to do it like this, because I need to match the water there. Yeah. So this is going to happen, and I'm going to do this, and this goes out. Well, I want more elks, so since there are 3 bears, I'm gonna choose to remove the 3 bears, wipe them out, and refill with something different. Now, just a specification, when we take it out for the solo mode, the one of these 2 pair, they go out of the game. When there is overpopulation, which means what we just did with the bears tokens go back in the bag. Well, I wanted an elk, and I got an elk, I guess. So I think I'm just gonna take this one, place it like so, and then place this here. What is the other option there? They're all the same. This goes out. I think I will take these ones and place this here and place the fox here. This goes out. Now, ideally, I would like to place a bear here, 2 hawks, elks there, 1 hawk here, and then I could be reasonably satisfied with what I've done. Maybe at least a water tile here to get to 7, and maybe a bear here, but that's a stretch. Now, I think I'd be better taking this hawk here and taking this here. Unfortunately, discarding this elk. Okay, that's good. We have more elks. So I think I'm going to take this one and place it here for sure. And then taking another nature token, and then where I'm placing this. If I kinda want, I think I want the water to extend here, to be honest. So, I think like this. So I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tiles of water. Because otherwise I could think about placing it up here to add a bear at some point. Because I'm gonna be taking this tile later anyways. So it doesn't really change much, I think. I think it doesn't change much. So I'm just gonna place it there. We are getting close to the end, so we need to make very efficient moves. I kinda want a bear, but do I like that tile? Not really, but I need only 1 more elk, but 2 bears to do whatever I want to do. So I think I'd be better taking the bear, which leads me to think this wasn't like the greatest move. But it's done, because now I blocked the mountains and I cannot get more points thanks to the mountains. That was a dum-dum. I'm going to take... I think I'm going to spend a nature token, right? I have them, so I'm going to take these. And which tile do I want? I ideally want a desert one, so never mind, let's place this back. I think this is going here, giving me another nature token. And I have a pack of 4 bears. And where is this going? I think this is just going here, because I don't know what to do with it. Maybe even here would be best. But then I'm blocking off all the forest. So yeah, no, like this. Like this works. This goes out. We only have 2 more rounds. I don't like this because I want an elk and I want a bear. So I'm going to spend 1 nature token to flush all of this out and take 4 new ones, which are going to be hawk, fox. This is bad. No, give me something I like, please. Elk, yes, nice. And that's also the tile I like the most, so that's fine. I'm just going to take this combo here. This is going here, and this is going here. Like this. I think we have 2 more rounds. I thought it was only 1, but we have 2 more. I'm going to take the bear to place here. And these, I think, can go here to extend this, possibly. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Unfortunately, the forest only has a 4, and the mountain only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, and also the desert has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Unless I wanna push for something different, like spending a nature token, and instead of taking this tile here, I can take this tile here, and then is there a way to extend both? Kind of. There isn't, is there? So I think I'm not going to spend my... I mean, with the desert, I think I'm going to spend it. I'm going to spend it because it's a point anyways, so that's fine. So this goes out. So the last turn, a salmon tile and a bear and a fox tile, and then we have an elk and an hawk. I think we want something with the desert and something to place next to the... So I think we could take this, I guess. If there would have been a bear, that would have been 5 points. Should we wipe it out in the hope of a bear? That could be either here or here, so that we can place that there. I think it's worth taking the chance of wiping everything out and hoping for a bear in one of those two. Okay. Bear, bear, manifesting a bear. Elk. Not a bear, not a bear. Manifesting a bear again, please. Bear. Salmon. That was dumb. Dumb. I was hoping for a bear. If you didn't understand. Well, I think I'm just going to take... It doesn't matter, right? Just going to take this. And yeah, I think that's it. This is the game. It's over. And now let's compute the points and see if we did at least 85 points, which I'm not entirely sure. So let's take a score sheet, and this is just gonna be me. So the bears, we have a pack of 4, which is 13 points, and that's pretty much it, because that's a lonely bear up there, unfortunately. Now the elks, we have a circle of 6, which is 21 points. Then the salmons is 1 point per salmon plus 1 point per adjacent animal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 points. Not the greatest, the salmons, not the greatest scoring. Then we have the hawk, which counts as, we only have this pair here, but we have 3 different animals, which is 9 points. Not even amazing, that one. And then the fox, it is 2. We need to count how many pairs of animals are around the foxes, which we have the salmon, the hawk, the elk, and the bear. Sorry, so it's 3, so it's another 9 points. So let's do the total of all the wildlife. And this is 64, if I'm not wrong. Now let's see what we did with the territories, because we need to do at least 20 points of that, and I'm not sure we're gonna be able to do that, but let's see. So let's see the mountains. The biggest mountains cluster is definitely here, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiles. So that's 5 for the mountains, and we didn't get to at least 7, so that's 0. Forest, I think the biggest cluster is this one, which is unfortunately only 4. So this is 4 and 0. The desert, I think we got to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we got to 7 and we get the extra bonus 2. The swamp, I guess it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4. Yeah, it's only 4. So that's gonna be 4, but no bonus. And then the water is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 7 plus 2. So let's count that up. So this should be 31 points, and we have no nature tokens. That brings us to a total of 95 if I didn't make any mistake. Which puts us 10 points above the threshold to winning this scenario. Celebration, a little celebration. I hope you like Cascadia. It's a fun game. Actually, I thought it was gonna be quicker, but I had to think a lot about what I wanted to do. Also, this is like my official first game of Cascadia. I watched videos, I read the rulebook, blah blah blah. For me, it's like learning by watching, but it's also the reason why I make these videos, I guess, because people might learn how to play by watching me. My expertise, my not so developed expertise, I guess. But anyways, I'm going to have another video playing Cascadia. We're gonna play one of the scenarios between 8 and 15. I'm gonna choose it randomly. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you wanna watch that video, remember to turn on the notifications for my channel. And as usual, like this video, subscribe to my channel if you want to, and I'd appreciate it very, very much. I'd be very, very grateful. And yeah, thank you very much for being with me. See you soon. Ciao, ciao.